Turner. His team is on a good run. Their last loss was to Denver in San Diego. And the rookie coach Josh McDaniels, 33 years young. Great start, now trying to bail the Broncos out of 3 straight defeats. Kading kicking it off, and Eddie Royal, who returned 2 kicks for touchdowns in San Diego, makes a big move and is just caught by an ankle at the 25-yard line, and he had an open field ahead. Credit James Holt, a rookie just activated a year ago with a very big stop. Rookie Noshawn Moreno in the backfield, and he gets the call, and a hard charging running back from Georgia. Good yardage on first down. A flag is down.
Looks like a face mask against San Diego.
Ron Winter is our official today. Referee.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. 15-yard penalty. And a first down.
So a good run tacked on with 15, and it's midfield for Denver.
Yeah, right on the tackle. The left hand of Oliver goes right into the face of Moreno. Great start for Denver as they're out to midfield.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Marshall and Royal, between them almost 200 catches a year ago, out to the left. Gaffney to the right side. It's practice 76,000. When Denver has the ball, they are quiet. Moreno again. Lots of running room off that right side. He skids down to the 41-yard line. 9 more before Kevin Burnett can make the tackle. Buckholder now in at running back for Moreno on 2nd and short. And it's Buckholder again off the right side. He's got a first down and more. Powers his way to the 35-yard line. Running at will off the right side are the Broncos. First down at the 34. They run left this time. Buckholder down to the 30-yard line. Pickup of 4. That seems meager compared to the effort in the first 3 carries off the right side. Credit Kevin Burnett with the tackle, with an assist from Steve Gregory.
Yeah, Moreno goes 7 with his first carry, then 9, and then Buckholter comes in the game. He gets 7 yards. You mix in a 15-yard penalty for the face mask, and Denver already to the 30-yard line.
Moreno back in. And it's the rookie again. Cuts off tackle and meets resistance at the 28-yard line, short of the first down.
Moreno's got speed, but he's a slashing type of runner with good size. He prefers to run inside between the tackles, but with that speed, he can get to the edge. He says he's got to learn not to cut the ball back so quickly.
Chris Sims without a pass on this opening drive, and now on 3rd down, and a short 3 gives off inside, and the first down yardage for Moreno and more inside the 20. First down at the 19. Oh, that is a big upset, as Chris Chambers, the former Charger, released a couple of weeks ago, has played well for Kansas City. Tripped up is Buckholder. He had a hole. Somebody down low able to take care of that possibility. Eric Weddle from safety makes the play. It's the Broncos inside the 20, and here's Sims, his first effort. The southpaw hit from behind. That's a free ball, and the Chargers come up with it. It's Steve Gregory who picks it up, and it's a turnover. Goes to San Diego. That stops a very impressive opening drive. So Phillip Rivers and the Chargers start at their 31-yard line. LaDainian Tomlinson had his best game of the season last week against Philadelphia, and it's LT off the right side, and Burrows for about 4. Ronald Fields there for the tackle. And we welcome those watching the NFL on CBS to Denver, Colorado. That's Chris Sims, the son of our colleague Phil Sims, starting today for the injured Kyle Orton. Threw only 1 pass attempt on the opening drive of this game, and he was stripped by Sean Merriman. That stopped a very impressive drive, all on the ground by the Broncos to open the game. And now it's San Diego, 2nd down and 6 at their own 35. LT, the tailback. Rivers, his first throw to the sidelines, and wide open is Vincent Jackson. And Jackson, who's had a terrific year, 7 touchdowns to lead San Diego, as a first down.
Well, Sean Phillips picking up this sack as he just reaches out as he gets by Columbus, the right tackle for Denver, and just poked that ball out of the hands of Chris Sims. Heads up by Gregory to jump on it.
Kyle Orton, by the way, who's been the regular quarterback, injured against Washington Redskins, is in uniform. Did practice only yesterday in the walkthrough. First down call. LT into the open field. 50, 40, down the sidelines and out of bounds at the Denver 33-yard line. A big run from Tomlinson, who had a slow start this year, was injured, missed 2 games, and now seems to be back in full physical and running condition.
This is tackle Jeremy Clary with the bad ankle, playing tight end as the Chargers go with the offensive tackle over to the strong side, and boy, does that work. Opens up a huge hole for LT as he's off and running, and the Chargers are in great shape.
21 to match the number on his back. 21 yards on the carry. Now Darren Sproles in, the 5'6" little powerhouse, and he tries the middle and spins away to the 25-yard line and was a tackle away from a possible touchdown. Sproles picked up 8 on first down, 2nd and 2. Jackson and Floyd, the 6'5" wide receivers. And now the handoff inside, and caught is Sproles in the backfield. No gain. 3rd and 2. Sproles in the backfield. That's Nane in motion. Rivers knocked away, and no play. The play blown dead, and with the crowd noise, you couldn't hear the whistle. Timeout, San Diego. A look at the AFC West standing. San Diego with 4 consecutive wins. Denver 3 straight losses, so they're tied for first. Denver with the win against San Diego. So if Denver wins today, they'll have in essence a 2-game lead with the 2 wins over the Chargers. Chargers win, and obviously they have the 1-game lead against the Broncos. This is 3rd and 4. Rivers underneath, and wide open is Malcolm Floyd, and Floyd down to the 11-yard line. One of the reasons Chris Chambers is playing for Kansas City, and you saw him with that big catch and run that set up the Chiefs' win in overtime, is the fact that Floyd has moved up the chart and his importance in the offense reflected.
And we got a personal foul, roughing the passer against Denver. So this will move the ball inside the 10 down about the 5-yard line. It's a blow to the head. Just a 4-man rush by Denver, and that allows Rivers to survey the entire field. There's the left hand to the side of the head, and there's the flag as well. Vonnie Holliday, the guilty party.
And if they'd have counted the times you were in the head with that kind of a slap, you'd have another 1,000 yards on your career.
Was I hitting the head a lot?
Well,
could you tell?
Couple of touches, that's all. 1st and goal at the 5. Red zone offense has really improved for San Diego in the last few games. 8 touchdowns and 2 field goals in 10 appearances. Fake to LaDainian. Rivers. He's going to throw it away. Malcolm Floyd was trying to help him out in the end zone, but well covered. That was great secondary defense from the Broncos. Jacob Hester in motion to come up at fullback. Then the give is to LaDainian Tomlinson, stacked up at the 2-yard line as D.J. Williams from inside linebacker position makes a solid tackle.
You talked about the effectiveness of the Chargers in the red area this season, especially lately. Well, remember, it's their red zone defense that got the Chargers at this point. It looked like Denver was going in. They got to the red zone. Sean Phillips came up with the strip sack, and now the Chargers are 2.5 yards away from the end zone.
3rd and goal. Touchdown, Nane. Legadou Nane, who also has emerged as a top target for the Chargers in their 4-game win streak. This 3rd-year receiver from Boise State.
Rivers got great pass protection. The Broncos decide to rush just 4, and here's Nane to the back of the end zone. And watch this bullet by Rivers right over the top of the linebacker. Both feet in. Touchdown, San Diego.
So after the fumble recovery, back at the 31-yard line, the Chargers go 69 yards in 9 plays. And here's the extra point by Kading. It snowed here in Denver last Sunday, and now 9 different mountains are open for skiing, including Copper Mountain, Breckenridge, Vail. And Rivers continues to terrorize the Bronco defense. He's 12 touchdowns and 1 interception in the last 6 games plus.
And the only incompletion he threw on that drive was a throwaway.
Dangerous Eddie Royal, former Virginia Tech star, fields deep in the end zone and will take the knee. Blue skies in the 60s here in the Mile High City, and the Chargers with the early lead 7-0. Doesn't sound like much. You go from the right-hander Kyle Oaten, not many southpaws in the league, and now left-hander Sims, and the blocking does have different pressures.
Well, the blind side's now on your tackle, who's the weaker of the two. Columbus is filling in for Ryan Harris, so he is now the blind side tackle blocking against Sean Phillips. We saw Phillips' quickness get all the way to the quarterback and cause that fumble.
And it's Chris Sims, of course, playing today as the starter. Kyle Orton, who helped fashion that great 6-0 start for the Broncos, injured the ankle. He is in uniform, but unlikely to be at full 100%. So from the 20-yard line, it's Noshawn Moreno with Sims, who throws to the sideline and complete for a gain of about 7 as he fires it out to Jabbar Gaffney. Moreno with a flag down, dropped shy of the first down marker. Brandon Seiler playing more and more with the injuries to Dobbins and Burnett, and he made the tackle.
Illegal motion. Offense number 89. A 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So the Lions roar, and Matthew Safford with the big game. Here's Sims now after the penalty. He passes out to Peyton Hillis, the fullback, tackled immediately by Antonio Cromartie. It's interesting that Stafford, now the quarterback, top player picked in the last draft, the quarterback for the Lions. He was the man handing off to Noshawn Moreno, and Moreno, a budding star here in Denver, in fact leads all rookies in rushing coming into Week 10.
Boy, that offsides penalty against Daniel Graham has really set the Broncos back. They got a completion out of Chris Sims, and now they face a tough 3rd down conversion.
For the first time, both Buckholder and Moreno in the backfield shotgun Sims. Stronger arm than Orton, and false start against Denver, so they'll move back another 5.
Yeah.
False start. Offense number 62. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Center with Casey Wigman, the veteran, with an itchy move of the ball. He's playing his 137th consecutive game. Wigman
right in the center. Watch him rock back. This is another thing that the Broncos have to get used to, is the cadence of Chris Sims. Different than Kyle Orton's cadence.
Figure Sims had the full week of practice, all the repetitions, but that's only a week in 3 years for him. And he's in trouble again and very nearly lost the ball. This time it was Kevin Burnett and Eric Weddle, the middle linebacker and safety, on the blitz.
And coming from the blind side again. Both Weddle and Burnett coming off the right side, or this side of the screen here. Watch Weddle, 32. Burnett comes up the middle with good pressure there, and they'll split that sack in half. Sims claiming his face mask was grabbed. Winter did not see it or call it.
Mitch Berger, who was a replacement here at midseason, the punter with Darren Sproles. He had a kick return for a touchdown in the first game in San Diego. High spiral. Sproles to the sidelines, bobbled the ball, but out of bounds. With Dan Fouts, Dick Enberg here at Mile High Stadium. This is the Wild Frog, and doesn't do much for San Diego. Yard gain. LaDainian Tomlinson, Ryan McBean made the play. Daniel Graham, a little chiropractic technique. Ooh,
oh, that feels a lot better. That made my neck feel better.
You know, sometimes you can hear a tackle all the way up into the booth. Out. 21-yard run by Tomlinson is longest, and this one is to the fullback Tolbert, and he is wrapped up on a solid hit by the veteran Brian Dawkins, and what an addition he's been to this Denver defense.
Good recognition by Dawkins, and of course you know he's going to finish it off. Tolbert real lucky not to have fumbled that ball, as Dawkins came in with his helmet right on the ball. Great tackle by Brian Dawkins.
Well, Dawkins with 7 Pro Bowls, Bailey champ with 8, Ty Law when he's in there, 5, 20 Pro Bowl appearances by those veterans in the secondary. And Dawkins, such a great spirit. Always has been. Oh! Whether he's drawn offside, no, it's going to be called offside. Jarvis Moss.
Defense number 94, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
He was trying to get baited. He was too far, so when you go that far, it's unabated.
Unabated or baited, either way.
You know, he was lured offsides or baited. He was offsides. I could see that one.
And then the grass took him into guilty position. He couldn't skid back. So third down and 3 now. The quick throw underneath is complete. It's Malcolm Floyd again, and a first down at the 45. Andre Goodman, the tackler. Elvis Dumerville, his dad was a big Elvis Presley fan. Wild Frog again here. And it's a reverse coming around as Sproles, and he's toppled at the 44-yard line, a gain of only 1. There's a new wrinkle. Renault Hill was not fooled in the secondary for Denver.
Yeah, the Chargers are opening up the playbook with this type of formation. LT handing to Jackson, Jackson pitching it back to Sproles. And remember last week against Philadelphia, Legadou Nane carried the ball one time from the Wildcat formation. They do not call it the Wild Frog when Nane is in that position.
We open the second quarter. Chargers with the ball, 7-0 lead. Second down and 9 at the Denver 44. Luis Castillo, defensive end, San Diego, injured calf. Questionable whether he'll return. That would be big for San Diego. They're already limited in that defensive line. Rivers throws underneath to Jackson, and Jackson belted, but he has another first down at the 32-yard line. It was Brian Dawkins and Elvis Dumerville teaming up on the tackle, and Jackson, who played his ball in this part of the world at Northern Colorado, another big gain.
I only caught 1 pass last week against Philadelphia, and Norv Turner told us last night they need to get him started, get him some pass attempts early in the ball game. But again, right now, San Diego, when they spread the field with 5 receivers, as they did that time with Sproles coming out in motion, a lot of holes in that Denver secondary.
Good job by Jackson to hold on to the ball. He took a hit from 3 different directions. LT, not much up the middle. Rivers has a man wide open on the out pattern, and it's Gates, the tight end. And he's near another first down as Brian Dawkins runs him off the field of play. It's the last win for Denver and the last loss suffered by San Diego. Tomlinson on the sweep. Can't get outside. Dumped for a loss by Champ Bailey.
Great job of Denver just stringing LT all the way out to the sidelines. He wanted to go off tackle. Then he wanted to go off the tight end. There's Tolbert out in front, but the penetration there by Andre Davis, 54, causes LT to go wide where Champ Bailey takes his legs out.
Chargers had their best rushing game against Philadelphia last Sunday, but they are worst in the league in average rushing yards per game. LT in motion, empty backfield. Quick hit over the middle, and it's Floyd, Malcolm Floyd, darting down to the 12-yard line. That'll be 2 yards short of the first. Malcolm with an M-A-L-C-O-M. His brother was M-A-L-C-O-L-M.
That's Elvis Dumerville, and he's responsible for taking Vincent Jackson. Drops off into his zone as the ball is thrown to the other side of the field, but the Chargers may revisit that formation to get Dumerville in pass coverage and not rushing the passer.
Third down and 3, and timeout San Diego. Back in Denver, a third down and 3 facing Phil Rivers and the Chargers. Today they're 2 for 2, under 50% for the year. Much lower than that in their first 5 games. And that's been the strength of the Denver defense early, stopping opponents on third down. From the 13-yard line. Handed off to Tomlinson, twisting, and he stops short of the first down at the 11-yard line. Dawkins and DJ Williams collaborate on the tackle. 4th and 1, and Norv Turner's going to send out the field goal unit, and then
no, I don't think he is.
I
think he wants to ask for a measurement to see how far LT got, so he can make a decision as to whether to go for it on 4th down. He does not get the measurement.
Oh, it's a judgment of the officials, is it not, as to whether or not it really is close enough for a measurement? It's about a half yard short, isn't it?
Needed to get right to the 10-yard line.
Nate Kading, 16 for 19 on the season. This is a flag down, so we'll see whether or not they're going to kick it over. The kick was good.
This was thrown by the umpire.
If this is against Denver, it could be a 1st down San Diego, so this is a big flag.
It's an unsportsmanlike conduct signal. See what Ron Winters has to say.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 79, defense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Timeout.
46-yard drive ends on the Kading 28-yard field goal, and for Nate Kading, that's 53 in a row that he's made from 40 yards or shorter, the longest active NFL streak. And the former Iowa star with a 15-yard penalty will just kick this through the end zone. Colorado's capital city sparkling on this November sunny Sunday. San Diego leading the Broncos 10-0. Josh McDaniels' team takes over at the 20-yard line. And Chris Sims has been harassed in his few pass attempts. The running game was solid to start, and back to the run they go. And Moreno stacked up shy of the 1st down marker as coming up from safety Paul Oliver with the hit. A left-hander throws to the sideline, deflected it appeared, and very wide of the receiver on the far sideline. Sean Phillips seemed to have a hand on that when the fans are booing, but that wasn't the misdirected throw from Sims. It was the defensive play by 95 Phillips.
That's 2 big plays in the 1st half by Phillips. He gets his hand up there, left hand, to knock that ball off its course, frustrating Chris Sims. Remember, it was Phillips' strip of Sims that gave the Chargers the ball when it looked like the Broncos were moving the ball at will.
Took it all the way down to the 17-yard line on those 7 runs for a look at a possible touchdown when Sims was stripped by Phillips. 3rd and 11. Lots of time. Lobs it high and incomplete, and a flag down. That's going to be interference against the Chargers. Eddie Royal, the intended receiver.
Well, the question is this ball catchable? There were about 3 Chargers near the, so they're going to call it holding. And that's why Royal went down. Like Quentin Jammer will get nailed.
With 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 78. Holding, defense number 23. Those penalties offset. Replay, 3rd down.
Ryan Clady, the offensive tackle. Everyone just raves about this Pro Bowl status of this young kid, only 23.
He's working against Sean Merriman. The former Boise State Broncos got a pretty good grip. And here's the grip by Quentin Jammer there. Not much of one.
Little hook.
A little hook shot there, yeah.
Turned him the other way.
That's 5 penalties, though, against the Broncos here in the 1st half.
35 yards of penalty, 33 yards of offense. So they'll repeat 3rd and 11. Here comes the blitz from the blind side, and Sims passes incomplete at the 32 to Eddie Royal. And that was Eric Weddle again. He's got 1/2 a sack already today, and he came through cleanly on the blind side of Sims.
Yeah, you got to give Ron Rivera a lot of credit. He's really attacking the left side of the Charger defense there. You can see Weddle coming in low with a good solid tackle on Sims. Also, Sean Phillips not far behind for San Diego.
So veteran Mitch Berger in to punt it to Darren Sproles. Sproles camped at the Charger 35. Sproles tackled immediately. Great job downfield. Josh Barrett, the defensive back. 53-yard punt, no return. Chargers take over at their 27-yard line, leading 10-0. 9:52 left in the opening half, and Rivers back to the air. Over the middle, complete to Jackson, and he trips at the 34-yard line as Champ Bailey got enough of him to knock him off balance. Chargers 2 possessions, 2 scores. The first on a 69-yard drive in 9 plays. Rivers to Nane, a 2-yard touchdown, and the second after a 46-yard drive settled in Kading's 28-yard field goal.
Yeah, Rivers now 9 of 10 throwing. Man, he's hot.
Second and short. See what they do with, in essence, a free down. LT in the backfield. And it is Tomlinson, head down for 3 and a first down. We understand the injury report from down on the sidelines involving Denver player.
Brian Dawkins has got a bad neck and his return is questionable, and you talk about a key injury. And also looking down there on the sidelines, you've seen Kyle Orton getting loose.
Wow, that is a big surprise. Darcel McBath, a rookie from Texas Tech, has replaced Dawkins, number 31. First down play, and it's Danian for just a yard, maybe 2. Marcus Thomas, the tackler.
Well, Marcus Thomas finally gets an illegal hit there. There's the work on Brian Dawkins on the sidelines.
14-year veteran. And again, Kyle Orton, we saw him on Friday. And after that, what they called a very severe ligament ankle injury, that he would suit up in case of emergency, but it looks as if he's serious.
He's throwing with some intent right now on the sidelines. Chris Sims sitting down looking disconsolate.
Second down and 8. Good protection. Quick throw to Floyd, a leaping catch at the 47, and he has close to a first down in front of Andre Goodman.
You know, these Charger wide receivers, not only are they tall, they're physical, and they're willing to go up and get the ball wherever Phillip Rivers throws it. Floyd is 6'5". This ball is thrown about 10 feet off the ground. Easy catch for number 80 in front of Andre Goodman, who goes at 5'10". This play before that, a pass play, Vincent Jackson just out-muscled Champ Bailey. Jackson goes about 230 pounds to Bailey's 190.
Look at the substitute for Denver. They bring on 4 new players, 3rd down and 1. Rivers in the shotgun. Sproles at his right. 4-man rush. Rivers throwing back shoulder, complete to Jackson, and he's down to the 31-yard line. Finally tackled by Andre Goodman.
Rivers actually wanted to go to the short route, being that it was just 3rd and 1, but he saw Jackson with Goodman. Goodman with his back to the quarterback turns late just to see Jackson with the back shoulder fade.
There's another example of a 6'5" receiver, physical, using his body to shield the defender.
And no pass rush out of Denver at all after getting 5 sacks on Rivers in the first game.
23 yards on that play. First down is Jackson now 4 catches. Floyd 4 catches. The 2-6-5 bookends at wide receiver for San Diego. This is like a basketball starting unit. Put in Dan Fouts there, and we've got the full 5.
Well, I'd be your point guard. I guarantee you I wouldn't be doing much shooting with these guys out there. 6'5" across the board. Gates, of course, at 6'4". That's why Rivers right now 11 out of 12 and throwing the ball to 5 different receivers.
Jackson in his 5th year, a legitimate star in this league. There's Gates, the tight end, always reliable, healthier than he's been the last couple of years. There's the pass out to Hester, caught by an ankle, and down he goes for a loss. He slipped, and he had some blockers out there, but couldn't get himself righted in time to elude DJ Williams.
Yeah, he's the leading tackler for Denver, the former Miami star. Here comes Hester, faking a block on Doomerville there, but the quick reaction in the slippery field dooms Jacob Hester.
He had 2 white jersey blockers in front of him.
That could be a huge momentum-changing play.
That pushes Kading's field goal range should they not gain yardage here. They show blitz, but they've been rushing only 4, and they rush 4 this time. Out of the backfield, Sproles twists to the 28-yard line, short of the first down, but will bring Kading on the field within his range, certainly. Darcel McBath for the injured Dawkins made the play. And here's Kading.
Yeah, every yard counts, obviously. That was a great effort just to pick up an extra 2 by Sproles. Kading hit a 50-yarder against Denver in game 1.
That's his longest of the year, Dan. This one will be 47 yards. He's 17 for 20 on the year. And that couldn't be more dead center. Chris Sims with the stocking cap, so we're going to see Kyle Orton apparently as Kading kicks it to dangerous Eddie Royal at the goal line. To the 20, gets outside and is able to rattle all the way out to the 37-yard line before Mike Tolbert can drag him down. He is excited. Orton, when we saw him, you would have thought he would not play. He had treatment all week, didn't take any snaps at all during the serious practice part of the week. Did a little walkthrough yesterday. Comes out throwing complete to Marshall. Not a bad man to look for early for short yardage. Eric Weddle, not fooled on the play, made the tackle. Loss of 2 yards on that flat pass. Here's Orton. Little ginger as he pulls back. Then he fires wide open. Marshall. First down and more to the 43-yard line. Tackled by Kevin Burnett. So he involves the top receiver, Brandon Marshall, in a hurry. 2 straight throws to the 6'4" Marshall, who now has 51 catches to lead the Broncos.
Let's check his feet out here as he fakes the ball to Moreno and then looks pretty good in the pocket. Stepped forward. That was a real strike over the middle to Marshall. It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline will do for an injury.
First down at the 42. Correll Buckholder now with Orton. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up nicely. The throw over the middle, complete. It's Gaffney to the 12, to the 5. Wow! Kyle Orton comes off the bench, bad ankle, and is throwing perfect strikes.
Can you say Willis Reed limping onto the field? 2 strikes over the middle. This one to Gaffney, who does a great job taking it inside the 5. But interesting, in talking to Orton, he said that he would throw the ball over the middle. When we talked to Sims, he said he was going to throw the ball to the outside. Obviously, more holes over the middle against the San Diego defense.
Marshall for 22, Gaffney for 38, 60 yards on back-to-back passes. Now up the middle, Moreno to the goal line, fumbles the ball, and the Chargers recover. Oh my, that would be 2 times Denver has driven deep into San Diego territory and lost the ball. Was he at the goal line?
They're calling it a touchback. No single and a touchdown at all. It's a fumble. It appears to be San Diego ball. That signal there means touchback, as does that one and Ron Winter. Looks like Cooper, Stephen Cooper. He's stretching to try to break the plane. Talk about a rookie mistake here. Couple of things to look at on this replay. Number 71 is Russ Hochstein, the left guard. As Moreno starts to reach the ball out, Hochstein's knee comes up, and the combination of stretching for the goal line and Hochstein's knee causes this ball to be fumbled. Question is, does Moreno have possession as he breaks and does he break the plane before the knee hits the ball out of his hands? That's what that man has to tell us, Ron Winter.
And of course the challenge by the Broncos, because we were before the 2-minute warning when the play occurred. After 2 minutes, it'd go upstairs.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a fumble and a touchback. Denver is charged with their second team timeout. 1st and 10, San Diego, 20-yard line.
What is it about San Diego and Denver where we have some controversial plays? I haven't even said the name Hockley,
No,
have
you
I?
haven't. And this is a tough confirmation. it just wasn't enough evidence to overrule the call on the field, because you could make a case if you didn't know what it was called and you saw those replays, you could argue 50-50 that's a touchdown. But the turnover twice now, fumbles inside the 20, one at the 17-yard line when Sims was sacked, and now Gregory recovers his second fumble at the 1-inch line. LT. No, that's Sproles who gets the call for 5 to the 25, tripped up by Andre Goodman.
Chargers just have one timeout, as does Denver. It'll be interesting to see what Norv Turner decides to do here with a 13-0 lead. Rivers has been awful good with the ball. Has only thrown 6 interceptions all season.
He's thrown 11 straight passes completed here in this first half, 4 from the San Diego record. Sproles bumped down 2 yards shy of the first down by Andre Davis, the former Cleveland Brown backer. The record for San Diego, 15 consecutive completions, co-held by Rivers and a guy named Fouts in 1981. 3rd down and 2. And he's dropped his Sproles in the backfield by DJ Williams. Now the punting team will come on, and that'll give Denver a chance here with, yeah, the clock continues to run. They don't use their, well, they've used all their timeouts. They have none.
And it's probably the reason why Norv Turner decided to keep the ball on the ground. Chargers get the kickoff to start the second half. A great tackle by DJ Williams. Sproles gets by Williams there. He's going to pick up the first down and a lot more.
First punt of the game, Mike Cyphers of San Diego, one of the very best. In fact, Josh McDaniel said he is the best. His hang time and placement and distance. This one is a wobbler, almost as if someone might have gotten a hand on it. And it backpedals for Denver to the 45-yard line before Nane can down it. So Orton and the Broncos, 24 seconds, are only 55 yards from the goal line. Buckholder in the backfield with Kyle Orton trying to get at least into field goal range. To the sidelines, it's intercepted. Was he in bounds?
Yep.
Intercepted by Cromartie, and they're calling him inbounds. That's going to be challenged again, I would think. No, they can't. They don't have any timeouts, so it's upstairs.
Yeah,
they may replay that. You know, they're going to have to take a look at that. I didn't think he got both feet in as he picked that pass.
Well, let's take a look here. Left foot is down, right foot is in from that angle. Yeah, I think that's an interception, and a great one by Antonio Cromartie.
What hands by Cromartie to look at where he's catching that ball. Back into the ball, juggles it a bit there. I don't know.
That's always the key. Does he have total possession? And that angle there.
No way, says Orton.
Yeah, I said that a lot too.
That's 3 turnovers for the Broncos in the opening half. None by the Chargers with 16 seconds to go.
And a timeout.
Rivers going to set up and try to get, well, thought he might pass. Instead, hands off to Sproles, and Vonnie Holiday, or LT, and Vonnie Holiday is there to bang him to the ground. So Norv Turner doesn't take a shot. That's the end of the half. Matt Prater has it teed up, and Darren Sproles with 4 career kick return touchdowns deep for San Diego, and he won't get a chance here. This one drives him right out of the end zone. That ball kicked 81 yards in the air.
This is what San Diego did. They got the touchdown that first drive, and then the field goals, short field position for San Diego, but the turnover is obviously the key. Controversial whether Moreno had broken the plane before the ball was punched out of his hands by his own man, his own left guard, Russ Hochstein. Controversy seems to follow these two teams, especially when they play here in this rarefied air.
And the replay official confirmed the fact that they just couldn't find evidence to overturn that very tight call on the goal line. LaDainian Tomlinson starts behind Rivers at the 20-yard line. That's Hester, the fullback, in motion back to the inside, and Rivers comes out throwing. Has to dump this one off to Hester, a little safety valve, and Hester toppled after a pickup of a couple. Ronaldo Hill, the safety, the tackler.
That was a heck of a catch by Hester. Rivers has only had one incompletion the entire afternoon. He's now 13 of 14.
12 in a row, Dan.
And of course, the receiver Jackson getting a big first half production out of him. Question is, well, how will Kyle Orton perform when the Broncos get the ball back?
3 yards on that dump off pass to Hester. Only his 3rd catch of the season. That, of course, a desperate don't take a sack throw. And now Rivers looking deep downfield, deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. He wanted to go to Antonio Gates, his tight end down the middle.
Now, the thing about the San Diego passing attack, you usually know where Phillip Rivers is going to be. About 7 yards back. He's going to step up about 2. Great job there by Andre Davis to get up in the air to deflect this ball. Number 54 there. He really skies. Rivers had a deep route in mind. Big play by Davis.
3rd and long. That first half in 3rd and long situations, the Broncos usually rushed only 4. Rivers changing his mind. Hustles to get in position, just does get the snap in time. Throws over the middle, incomplete to Sproles. Well covered. Now that play was doomed. It seemed that Rivers, in audibilizing, changed the play late and barely got the snap before the delay of game penalty.
Yeah, Jarvis Moss, the 6'7" linebacker, covering the 5'6" Sproles. Great job by Moss.
Eddie Royal drifts back to the 30. Fans chanting Eddie, Eddie, as Cyphers had one of his poorest punts, his only attempt in the first half. No pressure here, and he drives this one, a wobbler, to Royal at the 26. And he's tackled at the 35-yard line by David Binn, the man who snapped the ball. Chris Sims on the right started. Taken out after a quarter. He was having trouble under deep pressure. Now Orton, the regular quarterback, hands to Moreno, and Moreno a yard or 2 off the right side. Sean Phillips with a big tackle embrace. Big thing was Sims was sacked twice, fumbled once. Orton picked by Cromartie at the end of the half.
And this is what they did in that first half. There is that fumble at the top of the list there, but the fumble near the bottom of the list is the real killer at the 1-inch line.
Buckholder now in the backfield with Orton. He'll probably play with that bad ankle out of the shotgun most of the second half. Throws underneath, and it's complete. And it's Eddie Royal, his first catch of the day, and he's the fan favorite here in Denver. Quentin Chalmers seems to be okay. He's out of the lineup here on 3rd and a short 1. Moreno, the rookie, has a big hold, and only one man can stop him. It's Weddle, and he doesn't. Yes, he does. He's able to twist him down inside the 20. Sean Moreno making amends for that fumble on the goal line.
Great block by Spencer Larson, the fullback here. Watch him there, kicks out. That gives Moreno the crease he needs. And then Weddle barely gets down, number 27, at the 20-yard line. Daniel Graham with a good kick out on Sean Merriman. And the Broncos are in business in the red area.
66 yards rushing for the rookie Moreno. The flag is down as Buckholder bumped out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
They're going to get Daniel Graham for holding Merriman. Looked like Graham may have held him on the previous play, but he certainly grabbed him this time.
Officials discussion identifying the guilty player.
Well, San Diego may have had 12 men on the field.
Maybe 2 penalties. Yeah, they take this much time.
They're pointing both ways.
Yep.
Offset, yeah.
With 2 fouls on the play. Offside, defense, holding, number 89 offense. Those penalties offset. First down.
Sounds as if we're getting a little pickup in the wind. It was very quiet at the game start.
Now there are 11 men here, and this little guy right there, that's the 12th man as the ball snapped. Couldn't quite get off the field. Talk about a ticky-tack call and a bunch of circles.
First down, 19-yard line for the Broncos, trying to get on the board here early in the 3rd quarter. Orton Firing to a wide open Eddie Royal, and Royal to the 12-yard line. Oh, he was out there all alone. Of course, that's the area normally governed by Quentin Jammer, and Antoine Cason taking his spot with the Jammer injury.
This is where the San Diego Chargers were so strong last week against Philadelphia. Donovan McNabb threw for 450 yards, but 3 times the Eagles got inside the 20-yard line. They could only come away with 3 field goals.
Cromartie on one side. Now Jammer is back in, top of your screen at left corner. Handed off inside Buckholder, and he has the first down at the 7. First and goal for the Broncos.
Buckholter was battling a knee injury, did not practice on Thursday, but the Broncos very thin at running back. Lamont Jordan is out today, but Buckholter and Moreno form quite a 1-2 punch when they're both healthy.
Substitutions on both sides of the ball. First and goal from the 6. Moreno now the running back. Morton again staying in the shotgun with that injured left ankle. Gives to Moreno. And a yard gain to the 5. Morton, who grew up a big Nebraska fan. He wanted to go play for the Huskers. He went to their summer camp 6 straight years. Brooke Behringer, remember the tragic accident of Behringer cost his life in a plane crash. He wore his number 18, and then they didn't recruit him. So he went to Purdue, where he had an outstanding collegiate career. Second and goal. Plenty of time. Throws deep in the end zone, incomplete. Marshall on the back line. And that was one of those passes, hoping that Marshall could outleap the defenders, but a little too tall in front of Eric Weddle and Paul Oliver.
You know, we haven't seen out of this Denver offense is tight end Tony Scheffler, and Scheffler has had an amazing career against San Diego.
Had 2 touchdowns in the game here last year, had a touchdown and over 100 yards receiving in the game in San Diego, won by the Broncos this year.
Yeah, he's standing on the sidelines on this 3rd down and goal.
All 3 receivers to the right in this formation. Buckholder, the running back, 3rd and goal. Morton hit, throws, incomplete, almost intercepted. Steve Gregory, who has recovered 2 fumbles today, had his hands on that ball at the goal line as Orton hit as he threw. First time contact on the quarterback, and look at him, he's favoring that left ankle coming off.
Yeah, this is what we talked about, risking injury. Watch number 28, Gregory, break on the ball as he's trying to force that ball into Gaffney. Here's the shot on Orton, and it's Merriman going low and not getting called for going low.
Prater for the short 23-yard field goal attempt, and the Broncos have their first points of the game. And welcome back. Kyle Orton keeping loose on that sore left ankle, more than sore, a serious injury, but showing some real courage today to be in the fire of the fight. Darren Sproles, Josh McDaniels, when we talked to him on Friday, said he thought that the kick returns again would be the biggest part of this game. There were 3 kick return touchdowns in game 1, 2 by Royal and 1 by Sproles. Here's Sproles, hoping he gets a chance here. Onside kick, and it's recovered by the Chargers at the 42-yard line.
The Broncos ran right by the ball.
Well, they sure did.
Legadou Nane got the recovery, and Nane, if he was alert enough to pick the ball up, he could have walked into the end zone. He did the smart thing.
Belty at tailback. The veteran gets the ball and able to fight for 4 on first down. Elvis Dumerville in on the tackle. Yeah, that's McDaniel showing that. Well, he told us, he said, I've learned how to win in the National Football League from Bill Belichick in my years there with the Patriots. I learned how to coach and how to handle a team and players from my father Tom, a long time outstanding high school football coach in the state of Ohio, still coaching football, in fact.
Here goes Gates out wide. Good matchup for San Diego.
2nd and 6. They go back the other way underneath, and it's to Gates. And he is down to the 30-yard line. Well, the quarterback's eye. You saw that one in a hurry, didn't you?
Well, I had a guy named Kellen Winslow who's pretty good out wide, and I know once you get a rookie on a player like Antonio Gates, Darcel McBath, the rookie out of Texas Tech, that's really a mismatch with capital M's on the miss and the match.
And McBath in there, if you're just joining us, because veteran Brian Dawkins, a safety, injured neck in the first half. On first down. Back to LT. Able to duck down under the pressure and dive inside the 25-yard line. McBath to ground him there.
Amazing thing about this offense, obviously it's a pass first big play style of offense, but the Chargers, although they're last in the league rushing the ball, they run it just enough to keep the defense honest. And 2 running plays now on first down in this possession for LT has picked up 10 yards, and it's helped with the passing game as well.
Chargers last in the league, averaging only 77 yards a game. They have 57 today. Throwback pass, and then the Rivers throws to the wide open Gates, and Gates inside the 5 dives for the goal line, and he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Champ Bailey saved the touchdown. Oh, Turner going deep into the playbook today.
His second trick play of the game. Remember the reverse to Sproles that got him a yard. This is a beauty. LT, of course, everybody knows he can throw well. This is a backwards pass to Rivers. Good read by Rivers as he had Vincent Jackson deep and Gates wide open underneath. And Gates almost gets to the end zone.
23 yards, but not 25. He had stepped out of bounds there at the 2-yard line.
Great effort to try to break the plane, but that left foot was out of bounds.
First and goal, San Diego. Their touchdown was from 2 yards out. LT nose down right at the goal line, and they're marking it just shy. And when we talk about rushing touchdowns in NFL history, Tomlinson's name comes very much rich into the conversation. And here's why. Well, you're going to talk about tight ends first, and Gates is there as well.
Yeah, almost got number 54 on the previous play. LT came up 4 inches short of knocking in his 132nd rushing touchdown. Of course, he's got 146, which is way up on the list.
He's second only to Emmitt Smith as idle in rushing touchdowns. And he leans forward, hits the goal line, but was his knee down? Touchdown, San Diego. Block down by Ronaldo Hill, but the stretch by LT. He knows the way. Was his knee down, however, as he stretched? No, it's leaning on the tackler, Hill.
Great job by LT, seeing the goal line, feeling Ronaldo Hill underneath him, knowing he could reach out and get the benefit of not going to the ground, but being laying on top of the tackler. Another touchdown for LaDainian Tomlinson.
And for LT, his 6th of this season. And as you pointed out, Dan Fouts, his 132nd in his career.
And the onside kick gamble backfires.
You bet. And a magnificent day here in Denver, Colorado. Play continuing here in the 3rd quarter. And there's the list of career touchdowns, NFL history. These are all touchdowns. Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith, and LT Marcus Allen, as Tomlinson has passed him with his scoring this year. And he's number 2 just in rushing touchdowns to Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, all 2 Hall of Famers in there, and Smith and Allen. Of course, Jerry Rice will be inducted this year. That's a no-brainer. And talk about no-brainers. LT 5 years after he hangs it up.
Happy man. He's learned he's going to be a father later next year. It's Eddie Royal drifting to the goal line, and they say touchback. That was very close to going out of bounds. Young Josh McDaniels trying to snap a 3-game losing streak after that brilliant 6-0 start here in Denver, and faces a 17-point deficit here in the 3rd quarter. 6:47 to go. 3rd. And Orton stays in. His throw to the side is complete. And finally, Tony Scheffler, who has had his best games against the Chargers, has a catch today. First down at the 32. Orton steps up and throws, complete. Jabbar Gaffney twisting away into the 42-yard line, right at the yard marker. See if he has a first down. Merriman and Jammer teamed up on the tackle.
You can just see the obvious difference between what Chris Sims was doing when he was in the ball game, and the quickness with which Orton recognizes the defense and gets the ball out of his hand. Unfortunate and probably unfair for Sims to get that quick hook, but the Broncos are in a desperate situation.
Here's the handoff to Moreno, breaks into the secondary, and a first down at the San Diego 45. Weddle, another tackle deep into the secondary. Moreno moving toward the 100-yard mark.
Yeah, Clady and Hochstein doing a great job there on the left side. It just seems like this Charger defense is in a bend but don't break mode lately, as they give up a lot of yards between the 20s.
How about Moreno averaging 8 a carry, 80 yards on 10 attempts from the San Diego 45. Buckholder in, fake to him. Orton looking for something deep, gets away, and now throws toward the side and throws it away. And there was Antonio Cromartie. He picked one off in a similar play late in the first half as he was going for the ball.
But you're seeing the Broncos are trying to get Scheffler more involved in the passing game. He's got 6 career touchdown receptions against San Diego alone, and just 14 on his career against everybody else in the league.
Yeah, the 6 is the 3rd most by a tight end in the NFL in San Diego history. Spread formation with Buckholder getting the call, and he's dragged down at the line of scrimmage. Kevin Burnett, number 3 in tackles on this Charger team, able to drag him down. The former Cowboy came to San Diego as an unrestricted free agent this year.
And just check out the quickness with which Burnett reads the play and then shoots the gap. That's an outstanding play by an inside linebacker. Chargers getting a lot of good play out of their inside linebackers. Cooper, Brandon Seiler, Burnett. Tim Dobbins is actually back now, playing mostly on special teams.
On 3rd and long, under pressure, Orton throws complete. And it's Buckholder down to the 40, 5 yards short of a first down. And in this situation, Orton saying, "You want me to go, don't you?"
Yeah, and he's going to go for it. The fans, of course, will like this. They always love it when the home team goes for it on 4th down. But down 17, no choice at this point but to go for it.
Chargers take out Merriman and English, 2 linebackers, bring in an extra defensive lineman. And here's a player just coming on the field very late, as the Chargers will have to use a timeout. 4 wide receivers, as Brandon Stokely, who has not caught a pass today, he's the lone receiver out to the bottom of your screen, with Gaffney, Royal, and Marshall to the right side.
Merriman right here working against Ryan Clady. That's a great matchup.
4th and 5. It's only, well, 4 minutes left in the 3rd, but this is almost a game situation for the Broncos. They need the 5.
Cooper steps up in the line, forcing Orton to change the play.
Here comes the pressure. He steps up and throws incomplete. Throws behind a wide open Gaffney. But the pressure was coming.
Gaffney, one of the 3 receivers to the top of the screen here. Number 10 gets jammed off the line of scrimmage, but gets in behind the linebackers. Tough window for Orton to squeeze it in.
Yeah, he's about to be squeezed.
Yep.
And so taking over on downs at the 40-yard line, San Diego. So that's 3 turnovers, an onside kick that fails, and now a forced gamble down by 17, and a take over again at the 40 for San Diego. Tomlinson staying in, and North Turner can afford to run the football, eat up the clock, and Tomlinson adds 5 to his total. Now has 49 for the game.
After the failed onside kick that the Chargers recovered, they got the ball on Denver's 41-yard line as LT goes off the field kind of gingerly, but he did pick up 5 yards. He doesn't look good going to the sidelines, favoring that right leg.
He's been nicked all year since that opener against the Oakland Raiders. Injured and missed his first 2 games ever in his career. 9 great seasons. Tomlinson flagged down as Tomlinson dragged down at the 49-yard line. Or Sproles, rather. Sproles on the carry.
Had a flag down.
Offside.
Denver lining up offsides.
Defense number 92. A 5-yard penalty that results in a first down.
That's the first penalty against Denver here in the second half, and what a huge one that was, because Sproles didn't get anywhere near the first down. Here's Dumerville right here, number 92, and then Andre Davis, 54, may also have been called. Looked like Dumerville actually got back.
And Davis had his foot right at the edge of the ball. That carries a first down with it. Sproles stays in. Might be another offside. The flag goes down, and Sproles wrestled at the 49 of Denver by Dumerville.
Yeah, this time it's Kenny Peterson.
Offside. Defense number 90. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Just eager, or is Rivers changing his snap count?
Well, ask Kenny Peterson. Nobody else is moving. He's just trying to get a jump on Dielman. He's battled Chris Dielman for many, many games.
High school teammate of Coach Josh McDaniels. He was a senior, or a freshman when McDaniels was a senior at Canton McKinley High School. On 1st and 5, Rivers airs it out for Jackson. Too long. Champ Bailey on the coverage.
That's the thin air of the Mile High.
Did you
right
find
there.
that? Did you find that experience?
I felt like Hercules at times throwing the ball in this altitude.
You never felt like Hercules. Come on.
Well, here's the modern day Hercules here, and this ball goes about 5 yards too far because Jackson got behind Champ Bailey, and actually the ball didn't need to be thrown that high. It had been thrown on a line because Jackson could have run away from Bailey with that position.
Okay, you were Hercules.
More like Samson.
2nd and 5. LT back in, and he battles his way across the 40 for a first down. Andre Davis with a tackle.
And there's nothing real mysterious about this running attack. It's power, and it's 5 yards a crack, it seems, when it's LT carrying the ball in the second half.
And as he moves up the all-time list of rushing leaders, look at those names. He's a yard from 12,200 with Allen, Idgerin, Marshall, and Jim Brown. Tomlinson starting to feel it. Gets 8 more to the 32-yard line on first down. Back to Hester, and he breaks into the clear at the 20 and is dragged down at the 18. So often overlooked is Jacob Hester. He's carried the ball only 7 times all season for a total of 15 yards. He got more than that on that carry.
Yeah, the young guys up front, Murchkowski and Vasquez, opened just a little seam, and Hester, looking like the tailback he was at LSU, gets his best run of the season.
15 yards all season, 15 yards on that carry. Champ Bailey, the tackler, as the Chargers move well into field goal range, already up by 20-3.
And they're working on that clock.
Yeah, big advantage with the lead and able to go to the running game, and it's been effective enough. Sproles now, not much there for the little man from Kansas State. Stop shy of the 15-yard line, and that'll take the final seconds off the board here in the third quarter. 2nd down and 8 at the 15-yard line as we open this fourth period. Sproles ducks away from a tackler and then runs into a stone wall at the 10-yard line. Pushed all the way back as Vonnie Holiday and company with a tackle, and here comes LT skipping into the huddle. He's been showing some of the physical effects of this hard-hitting battle today.
That's 62 yards on 18 carries. Doing a lot of his work between the tackles. Been very effective here in the second half.
Here's some late changes by Josh McDaniels on 3rd down and 3. Rivers gets his team set out of the shotgun with Tomlinson, his company, in the backfield, and now Rivers is going to use a timeout. And welcome back. There's the Red Zone's report card today. The Chargers 3 for 3, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Denver just 1 field goal and 2 fumbles, 1 at the 17 and 1 on the 1-yard line going in. Both recovered by the Chargers. 3rd and 3. Rivers over the middle. Incomplete. Good defense on Vincent Jackson as Ronaldo Hill there to make the play for Denver.
Pretty good timing by Ronaldo Hill as the Chargers bring out the field goal team. Jackson 83 working the shallow cross. Watch Hill from the right side, and he gets there perfectly. Ball thrown behind Jackson by Rivers.
So Kading, who has field goals of 28 and 47 yards, this another short 28-yarder to expand the lead to 20. And that it is. Kading 3 for 3. A flag down on the play, again thrown on the defensive side of the ball.
And you wonder if this is one of these leverage type of plays. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Denver again.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 91, defense.
Although a most pleasant weekend here, temperatures daytime 60s up to 70 degrees. 23-3. Eddie Royal can only hope here as Kading kicks off from his own 45, and the play here is to not give the dangerous Royal a chance. And Kading will do just that as he drives it toward the grandstands.
Set. Set.
Ooh, almost intercepted.
Set.
Here's Orton, and down he goes. And now Orton goes to the shotgun on 3rd down and 10. Down the middle, incomplete. Misses Gaffney and is 3 and out. And these fans are restless at Mile High. Sproles back inside his own 40 as Mitch Berger to punt. High floater, and Sproles has a chance to return this one. And is dumped at the 49-yard line. Well, the Denver Broncos starting the season 6-0 with wins over the Bengals, Cleveland, Oakland, Dallas, New England in overtime, and San Diego. And unless they come up with something special here today, it'll be 4 straight losses. Here's Ladanian breaking out of tackles and tucks his way down for even more as Tomlinson, who had 96 yards rushing against Philadelphia last Sunday, has 74 today.
And stayed in bounds to keep that clock rolling.
It looked like a disheartened defense there trying to chase down Tomlinson.
One thing, this defense in this losing streak, they have worn down in the second half.
In fact, they've been outscored counting today 68-17 in the second half over the last 4 games. Up the middle, Tolbert. Tolbert at the 20, Tolbert at the 10, and down to the 8-yard line goes the big fullback from Coastal Carolina. Champ Bailey rode him down, saved the touchdown.
Had only 11 yards rushing all season. He busts out big time with that one for 32 yards right up the middle. Talk about a disheartened team. This defense just watching San Diego overpower them right up the gut.
But here's a young guy, Tolbert, who is learning to play fullback at 250 pounds, more of a running back in college. And as he's developed as a blocker, you can see the improvement in the San Diego offense. Ooh, hit in the backfield is LaDainian Tomlinson by Andre Davis. He filled the hole. Did he ever?
Well, graphically, let's take a look at the struggles that this defense has had in the second half of games. Might as well put an 0-4 record up there, and being outscored by way too many points. They were so good in the first 6 games of the season. They were the surprise team in the NFL.
That was coming into today, and those numbers even worsening. Mike Nolan working the other side of the ball, the defensive coordinator, and formerly not only was the head coach with Norv Turner his assistant, he was Norv's assistant in Washington. The throw is complete to Hester, and he's bumped out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Hester from LSU. His wife's uncle, a name you'll recall, you old timers, Pat Tilley, an outstanding receiver in this league.
San Diego's got great balance so far today. Rivers has thrown for 145 yards. They've rushed for 141 yards.
3rd and goal. Sproles in. It's Sproles on a draw play up the middle. It's the play that scored against the Raiders on opening day, and he's wrestled down from the 1-yard line. McBath first to get to him. Well, on 4th and goal at the 1, the play is to kick the field goal. An injured Charger is Jeremy Clary. He came into the game as nicked tackle ankle injury against Philadelphia. Many felt he wouldn't be able to see duty today. He's down.
Let's go back to the injury. Jeremy Clary right here in the circle gets caught up with his right guard, Luis Vasquez. DJ Williams is going to push him back over onto his back. Looks like it's a left leg injury. He came into the game with a right ankle injury, and they've got the card out there to take the big man off the field.
Finally to his feet is Clary, a 3rd-year tackle from Kansas State, trying to block for a teammate with the Wildcats in Manhattan.
Appeared to be holding his left leg, the shin part. Hopefully it's not serious. Tough guy, though. Didn't practice much of the week because of that bad right ankle, and now he's got a sore left leg.
Chargers activated Corey Clark off their practice squad just this weekend in case Clary was unable to go, and he gets through 3 quarters plus, and his day is now through. And the way he slammed his hand down, the fear of it being longer lasting as we come to the boiling points of this NFL season.
Amazing.
I'm shocked. Kading to Eddie Royal. Royal taking it out. Never got to full speed and tackled shy of the 20-yard line. The coverage by James Holt.
Set.
Buckholder breaks it out and gains about 17. It's the Hockley rule.
Well, it involves a pass fumble plays by the passer. Who else? If the hand was moving forward in a pass versus fumble play, and it's heck with it.
I was hoping you'd say that. Now we could keep reading that if we have time. How much left in the 4th quarter? Well, we got 10 minutes left.
We'll come back to it.
Orton, look at the time. Throws to the sideline, and it's Eddie Royal over there for the catch. Eric Weddle was close to an interception.
All
Okay,
right, go ahead.
Well, if the hand was moving forward in the pass versus fumble play and it's ruled an incomplete pass, it can be reviewed. Upon review, it is determined that the hand was not. Well, heck, I'm not going to do this.
That sounded a lot like Sports Challenge.
The handoff inside to Buckholder, and the Chargers, with a very loose defensive alignment, will allow the running plays to chew up more time.
This is a big win and big statement win for this Charger defense. It looked like Denver. They started the game with 7 straight rushes, going just right at San Diego, moving the ball down the field, and Chargers came up with a big play. Sean Phillips knocking the ball out of Chris Sims' hands.
Orton steps up, throws, and Daniel Graham toppled as he makes the catch, as Steve Gregory came up from the secondary with a good low hit.
But Gregory's had a heck of a ball game. 2 fumble recoveries. That big hit there. Been on numerous plays.
From Staten Island, New York, Steve Gregory went to Syracuse. Orton, here comes the pressure and a screen, and a good call. They've got blockers out in front of Buckholder. And he's all the way to the 30, the 27-yard line before knocked out of bounds by Antonio Cromartie. Perfect call. They felt the blitz coming.
Yeah, great read by Kyle Orton. Good play selection by Josh McDaniels. Buckhalter slips out the left side. Now you got Hochstein and Wegman in front. And Stephen Cooper did a heck of a job giving his body up, wiping out those 2 blockers for Buckholter.
We got a report from the San Diego bench, not only the injury by the tackle Clary, but Sean Merriman, a foot injury, and he's questionable as to return. Well, not a big question mark because he's just come back in as Kevin Burnett takes a knee.
The thing about Merriman, he's been battling that foot injury for most of the season. Had a groin pull earlier in the year, coming back from the knee surgery from last year, and Burnett struggles to get off the field.
Orton into the left flat, complete to Buckholder. No, Moreno this time. And the rookie from Georgia has the reception and ducks out of bounds at the 20-yard line in front of Tim Dobbins. Dobbins has been injured of late, getting some duty this afternoon as Merriman returns.
And the Broncos are inches away from the red zone, someplace it's been more like the dead zone for them this afternoon.
2 critical fumbles in the red zone. Throw over the middle, complete to Marshall. And he goes down at the 14-yard line as Gregory with the tackle.
That's only Marshall's 3rd catch of the afternoon for just 26 yards. And there's a guy that came in the game with 49 catches. Big target.
The man who
has
caught,
not been used today.
Yeah, 102 2 years ago, caught 104 last year. Tremendously productive. And there's Orton going to the end zone. Marshall incomplete. Coming over was Paul Oliver to help out Quentin Jammer. So they strike for the quick 6, but not there.
He goes up with one hand here. It's about all he could do as the ball just sailed on Orton. But coming over was Oliver to make sure and also get a free shot on a receiver who's totally stretched out.
Marshall walking off the field. Brandon Stokely and Jabbar Gaffney to the right. Royal to the left on 2nd and 10. Low snap, Orton, and a flag goes down. Merriman coming in with a bull rush.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty to remain 2nd down.
Well, Moreno was not trying to fumble. He's trying to score a touchdown. And Russ Hochstein knocked the ball out of his hands as he was stretching out to score the touchdown.
2nd and 15, and Orton just throws the ball on the ground as he had no chance. Looked as if that was going to set up as a screen, but it wasn't there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Chargers, you know, they were burned moments ago by a screen pass, but this time they are ready for it. In fact, there was no receiver in the way of that screen, so that really Orton had nobody to throw the ball to.
Yeah,
that
Royal
did not make McDaniels very happy, did it?
No, Royal seemed to be coming back to his quarterback. So 3rd and 15. Orton to the end zone. Marshall the target. Incomplete. In fact, Quentin Jammer had the best position on the ball. Look at Marshall. Now he's mad at Orton.
Yes, he is. He wants the ball sooner. But Jammer saw this the whole way. He's looking at Orton and feeling Marshall. And, of course, the ball thrown out of the end zone. Orton saw the coverage.
They'll go for it in 4th and 15.
Some people say, well, why don't you kick the field goal here to make it a 12-possession game maybe. That's what it is really for Denver, the way they played today.
They need to get inside the 4-yard line for the 1st down. Ooh, low snap. And Orton now throwing over the middle for Marshall, incomplete. And Paul Oliver right there to block his path off. And on downs again, Josh McDaniel. This has been a very difficult game to digest for the young coach. Early headlines: the Colts 5 field goals is all the Ravens could manage, and they threw an interception. Flacco down near the goal line with a chance to win. The Saints 10-0, first time for the men from New Orleans, 10-0 in their history. The Vikings, a big one. How about that guy named Favre? Only 4 touchdown passes. Isn't he amazing?
Doesn't he have enough? Brandon Marshall got shaken up a bit on that incomplete pass.
Brandon Dombrowski now playing right tackle for the injured Jeremy Clary. Mike Tolbert with a carry. Here's the AFC playoff picture with the early games in. Those are the 4 division leaders, and then the wild card at this moment, San Diego and Jacksonville. But if San Diego wins, it would move up, and Denver would be down in that wild card spot. Hard to believe that in the hunt is Pittsburgh at 6-4. What an upset. The Chiefs beat the Steelers in overtime in Kansas City today.
That ought to get the Chargers' attention because the Chiefs come to San Diego next weekend.
Jacob Hester is at quarterback in this set. No, in the At tailback, I'm sorry, and the handoff by Rivers to Hester. Brandon Marshall, is he in? I think his feelings are injured as much as being injured here.
Yeah, it's Oliver coming in and hitting him in the right in the wrist. Feelings, pride, and a bruise.
3 catches today for 26 yards. Certainly subpar afternoon for Brandon Marshall. Hester stays in. That means that Sproles and Tomlinson, their day probably finished. Hester looks for a hole and finds one. Breaks into the secondary and out to the 39-yard line for Jacob Hester. There's something about these Chargers. They start so slowly season after season, and then you get around November and they're something else.
Now, if you count up the losses here, it adds up to 5 losses.
And 40 wins.
That's remarkable. I think a lot of that has to do with the weather in San Diego. The players are always practicing in ideal conditions, and when they go on the road, they know that they've got their work in. They've not had to have any adjustments for their practices, and I also believe it has a lot to do with the coaching of this staff led by Norv Turner and the belief the players have in the staff.
Tolbert now the fullback, and he rams up the middle for 6 yards. So the 2 men who rarely see the ball, Jacob Hester and Mike Tolbert, are getting a chance to try to chew up the clock here with 5 minutes plus remaining in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's all about attitude. We talked to Marcus McNeil last night about the Chargers' attitude and running the ball. He says it's all about attitude. You've got to whip the man across the line of scrimmage from you. Philip Rivers has not even been hassled at all in the pocket throwing the ball, and they've been able to run the ball against this Denver defense very effectively, especially here in the second half.
Tolbert at tailback, and he gets the handoff. And short of the first down as Darrell Reed makes the tackle, and that's 174 yards rushing for San Diego today. That's twice their average on the season. Mike Cyphers to punt it. Eddie Royal hoping he has a chance. Has to let it go, and it kicks into the end zone. Cyphers trying that knuckleball kick, but it carried too far. Kyle Orton still in at quarterback in this lopsided game, and almost intercepted, trying to hit the tight end, and Stephen Cooper was the man closest to the ball. And you can't blame Orton, but with his condition, that bad left ankle, he's not going to wait to get hit. He's going to get the ball out of there.
Now we've seen the timing of his last couple of throws has just been way off. That time, I mean, the pressure wasn't there, but I mean, he can't step forward.
It gives us the feeling as a quarterback, you're trying to deliver the ball forward. What is the worst ankle injury, right ankle or left ankle?
Well, he told us because it's the heel on his left foot that is very painful when he steps forward.
Throws into the flat to Royal, and Royal ducks out of bounds short of the first down at the 28.
There's some quarterbacks that are back foot throwers that really put a lot of weight on their right foot and don't really step forward. That's not Orton's case there. You can see as he just rolls over that left foot, really never planted it.
One of those that you say off your right foot be more like a Brett Favre?
Absolutely, yeah. Favre doesn't need any feet at all. He can throw it jumping up in the air.
In the shower. So 3rd and 2 for Orton. And he goes up the middle, incomplete, intended for Gaffney, and well covered by the Chargers.
Such a sinking feeling for a quarterback, and sickening feeling as well, being down by this much and having to throw every down, and knowing the defense just sitting back, they're just looking at you. A couple of the guys are rushing hard, but the defensive backs, they're looking for that pick.
So down to 4th down again. The Broncos have given up the ball on downs 2 other times today. Moreno, the rookie, in the backfield with Orton. And he throws out here. This side almost intercepted. Oh, Steve Gregory. He saw that one coming and tried to jump the receiver, and very close to another pick.
Now he was looking at the end zone, I think, because that's all that he has to worry about if he could just clutch that ball in midair.
So San Diego takes over on downs for the 3rd time in the game. So 3 turnovers in the first half. Denver misfire on an onside kick that gave the Chargers field position at the Denver 41, and then 3 more times on downs. But that out of desperation as Denver falling behind had to gamble 4th down plays.
And when's the last time the Chargers rushed for more yards than they have passed for?
Hester. And he's inside the 20-yard line, and Hester and Tolbert, the young Colts, enjoying a chance to lug the pumpkin here. Chargers now with the Saints 14 straight games where they've scored at least 21 points. Cardinals now 7th, distant 2nd.
And 184 yards rushing for San Diego, just 145 yards passing will bring a lot of smiles on the sidelines. LT and VJ chatting it up, and Kyle Orton can only wonder what's going on with this ball club.
Hester at fullback, Tolbert at tailback on 2nd and short. Tolbert breaks out of the pile and picks up what appears to be a first down. 1 play, and we'll have the 2-minute warning. It's been talk about roller coaster. 6 straight wins. Everything's so high here in Denver, and now 4 consecutive defeats for the Broncos. Hester. And with the win today, San Diego splits the series with the Broncos, each winning on the road, takes the 1-game lead over Denver. It'd be 5 straight wins for the men with the lightning bolts and the helmets. Tolbert right up the middle, and the push close to the 10-yard line. And a look at the San Diego schedule. They go home next Sunday. We'll be out there for the Chiefs and the Chargers, another AFC West encounter. Then at Cleveland, at Dallas, Cincinnati, 7-2 Bengals, at Tennessee, and they've won 3 in a row and seem to really be on target now, and wrap up the season at home against Washington.
And really the only negative for San Diego coming out of this game is the injury to Jeremy Clary. Appeared to be a serious left leg injury as he was carted off the field.
And here's Hester swinging out to the left side and inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, close to the yellow marker, and a first down. And for the Broncos, trying to snap now a 4-game streak, and it won't be easy. They only have 3 days. Thanksgiving night they host the Giants, then at Kansas City, at Indianapolis, home against Oakland. They go to Philly and close out against the Chiefs. Close enough here that the referee Ron Winter has called for a measurement. Well, so much expected of this game. In fact, it was even promoted by some of the press as a playoff game, as these are the 2 best teams in the AFC West, and who will survive. Denver, always a tough place to win here. They have the best home record of any team since 1975. It just didn't break right for Josh McDaniel and his Broncos today.
And the big thing about the New York Giants is what type of team are the New York Giants, and what about that entire NFC East? The Chargers have beaten the Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles, and right now it looks like momentum that the Chargers are on such a good roll right now. Denver, negative momentum, and a short week to play the Giants.
Yeah, and the health of their quarterback, you know, with only 3 days to get ready for the Giants. 3 days and then game day.
And you wonder about the mental health of Chris Sims getting pulled out of this game so early.
Give it to the big fullback Tolbert, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Fumble, but he was already across the goal line. Make sure picks it up himself. Well, he hasn't had many chances to practice his celebration. We'll give him at least a C+.
That looked like the Coastal Carolina chop. 35, his first touchdown for San Diego.
That's the Chanticleer cheer there.
Whatever it needs work, or whatever it is.
Nobody's perfect. So for this first rushing touchdown in the NFL, he has one with a catch. Tolbert adds to the total, and for San Diego, by far their best rushing performance of this season, 203 yards. And ball might have been ruled a fumble. It was right there on the goal line. Kading has the extra point blocked. How often do you see that?
That's only the second time in his entire career he's had a extra point missed, and both of them have been blocked.
Meanwhile, Mike Tolbert receiving the congratulations of teammates, and the faces more and more dour on the Denver sidelines. Kicked this very low, and good penetration up the middle by Marcus Thomas, the defensive tackle.
We go back to the touchdown by Tolbert. You know, I'm sure Moreno's saying, why wasn't this called a fumble? But Tolbert did recover it in the end zone. The ball was ripped out there, real close to the very goal line. No sense reviewing this because Tolbert was the first to pounce on it anyway.
A precious 6 he embraces there. So 32-3 with 34 ticks left on the clock. Kading tees it up. And Eddie Royal one more chance for the second-year speedster.
And he's hoping that Kading puts this in the seats.
2 yards deep, and he'll take it at the 20-yard line. Well, the NFC playoff picture. This is how it looks after play today. New Orleans, Minnesota, Dallas, and Arizona are the division leaders, with Green Bay and the Giants now at 6-4. Philly has a chance to join them. They play later tonight.
You wonder about these teams that are in the hunt. 6 losses. The magic number, it appears, each year to get into the wild card is 10 wins. So for those teams there, San Francisco and Carolina and Chicago, they got to get busy in a hurry.
Thornton with a handoff, and it's Buckholder out to the 30-yard line. San Diego owns first place with a 32-3 win.